name is Taylor Bob and welcome to Behind the Journey. In today's video, I'm going to tell you guys what my move was like moving from Louisiana to Dallas and the pros and the cons of living alone. So stay tuned. Okay, so to begin, I do want to kind of tell you guys why I decided to move from Louisiana and how I ended up in Dallas, Texas, okay? So I never ever thought that I would have moved to Texas. Out of all places, Texas was never on my radar, and I'm being 100% honest with y'all. So May 2016 is when I graduated Dillard University and I got my undergraduate degree. And I moved back to my parents' house to Lafayette, Louisiana. So my college was in New Orleans, which was 2 hours away, and then I moved back home with my parents in Lafayette. So I ended up staying with my parents for about a month and a half, almost 2 months before I decided to actually pick up and move to Dallas. So my cousin, she lived here first, and she kind of called me and told me, hey, you know, basically you have nothing to lose, like come check it out. So I bought a plane ticket that same week. I flew to Dallas. I spent the entire week with her, and she kind of showed me around the city a little bit. She did have to work that entire week, so we would only get to hang like when she got back from work. But I kind of saw Dallas and I saw how big it was, and all I had in my mind at the time, honestly, was opportunity. And I was like, you know what, this is another opportunity presented to me. I'm going to just take my golden ticket and I'm leaving Lafayette. So when I first got back home to Lafayette from college, I'm not even gonna front y'all, like this feeling came over me of like just being back home in a small town where there's not many opportunity. So it was kind of depressing in a sense, and like my mom and my dad, like they were continuing to go to work and things like that. And so like I was at home during the day and I didn't really have a job or anything lined up. So my senior year at Dillard University, I did have an internship with a physical therapy practice. I thought I was going to be interested in physical therapy. I thought I would have gone to physical therapy school, but my life did not work out that way. I honestly did not want to do that. But outside of that, I didn't apply for any other jobs. I didn't really think, okay, Taylor, what are you going to do right when you leave the campus of Dillard University? And I'm not even gonna lie, I left college with no plan. Like I had no plan, no job, no nothing. I just felt like, you know, like being home at that time, I felt like it wasn't it for me because I know how hard it is getting out of college. But when you get out of college and you live in a small city, then it's totally different. But like my mom told me too, you know, she said I didn't really give Lafayette a chance, which I agree. But I also know that I'm a person of big faith. And I felt like that was like a push from God. Like God just kind of pushed me and said, go. So after I visited Dallas, everything looked good. I went back home and then I just started packing up all my clothes. And the next thing you know, me and my aunt are driving my car to Dallas, Texas. And it's about 6 hours away from Lafayette, Louisiana. So that's pretty much the story of how I ended up in Texas. It was honestly just a leap of faith. My cousin called me like, hey, and I literally moved to Dallas. And so I lived with her for the first year and a half. And she had a newborn baby at the time, which I love this little girl so much. So I actually got to help kind of change her diapers and kind of babysat and things like that. So that was super fun, just living with them. But then after that first year and a half, we did get our own apartments. They were on one side of the complex and I was on the other side of the complex in my apartment. But we still lived in the same complex, so I was still able to see them and hang with them, etc. And now my cousin has moved and she's got her a nice house and she's doing her thing. So now I really feel like I'm by myself. Like, you know, I lived in an apartment by myself upstairs for about 2 years, and now I moved downstairs into a bigger apartment because I just needed more space, just to be creative, just to have my YouTube space. And I have a lot of clothes. Like that apartment I had by myself upstairs just wasn't doing it. So basically I moved downstairs and now I have a bigger space. So living alone is there's definitely pros and cons to everything. But once I did get to Texas, I did form great relationships with great people. I do have friends here and things like that. So I kind of met people at different jobs that I had. So that kind of made my transition when I moved to Texas a lot easier. I became close with a lot of people, and I do have people here in Texas that I can definitely call if I need anything. And just working my way up in corporate, that has been something that I've been doing over the past 4 years that I've been here. It's crazy, y'all. Like, it doesn't even feel like I've been in Texas 4 years. Time goes by so freaking fast, like you don't even know it. You know, but sometimes I do miss my family back in Louisiana, and I do think, what would life have been like for me if I would have stayed in Lafayette, Louisiana. But I'm a person, I like to do casting calls. I like to, you know, be in the light. I like to speak. I like to make videos. And I felt like Dallas would be a better market for me. And it would have more opportunities for me, not only in the corporate world, but also the things that I do on the side, such as my YouTube channel and just being out there and being able to present myself to a different audience. I felt like that's what Dallas has done for me. Now, you know, if you want to move to a different state, if you want to, you know, move along, go for it. But just know that I moved here because I had a cousin that was already here, and I lived with her for the first year that I was here. So if you're ready to take that big leap of faith and move, if you have family members where you're trying to move, go for it. You know, and even if you don't have anyone where you're looking to move, if you feel like that's deeply what's in your heart, it's what you want to do, pray about it, get the discernment from God, and let God lead you if you want to move out on your own. But there are some things that people don't tell you about living alone, and there are pros and cons to living alone. Okay, so first I will say that living alone has definitely made me boss up a whole lot. When you live alone, you are the head of household. You are responsible for paying your bills. You're responsible for getting toilet paper, for getting paper towels, for getting food, cleaning supplies, you know, paying the Netflix bill, paying the Wi-Fi bill, paying your electricity, utilities. Like, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So if you are living alone and if you're like handling everything like a boss, then I definitely commend you, because I know firsthand, like, it's definitely hard work having your own. But it's also something that really humbled me, and it also is something that I'm extremely, extremely proud of. Just, you know, being able to do this, coming from, you know, being my mom's only child to like living by myself, like that's something I never thought I could do. I never thought that I could really, you know, leave my mom's here. Looking to move, I definitely do encourage you. Just make sure you do your research. Just make sure you save a little bit of money before you move, and just make sure that you're going to be secure. Maybe find a job before you move to the place you're trying to move, and vice versa. Now, living alone, like I said, you are the breadwinner of your household, so you're responsible for everything. And the good thing about living alone is that you have your own quiet time. So for one, like, I'm in grad school, so I definitely need my quiet time to study, like my time to do my homework. Like in here, honestly, I have no pets. I have none of that. So when I need to study and when I need to get things done, I can get things done because I have nobody in the background being loud. I don't have to tell anybody to be quiet. Like, I just have my peaceful, my quiet time. And then also, like, after work, coming from a corporate job, you know, you just want to wind down and kind of be in your own space. So I feel living alone has been great in that aspect. Right now, I'm recording this YouTube video, and again, I don't have to worry about telling anyone to be quiet or get out of my background, like things like that. You know, I just have my own quiet time, my personal space, and I kind of could do what I want to do in my space. So it has definitely allowed me to be more creative. Like, I have my ring light set up. I don't have to worry about taking it down because it's in somebody's way. Like, the list goes on and on and on and on. So there's a huge pro of living alone. I mean, you can just do kind of whatever you want to do, but at the same time, you are being taught, I guess, a greater level of responsibility whenever you do live alone. So pat yourself on the back if you're doing it, sis. Pat yourself on the back, okay? And now I'm going to kind of go into those cons of living alone. Yes, y'all, there's a con to everything, unfortunately. So for me, I am so close to my family. Like, my immediate family, like on my mom's side, we're extremely, extremely close. So it was super hard when I first moved here because I realized, okay, I'm not going to be able to go to grandma's house and grandpa's house every Sunday. I'm not going to be able to, you know, eat with my family, go to church with them. I'm not going to be able to come home from a long day of work and have some of my mom's good cooking. Like, a lot of that reality hit. It was kind of like, okay, like, you just have basically one cousin here. Like, you really don't, like, your mom is not 2 houses over. Your mom is like 6 hours away if you want to go home. So the way we kind of make it work is that every couple of months I try to go home, and then every couple of months my parents come see me, vice versa. So we're still making sure that we see each other, and I talk to my mom literally every single day, all day, via phone, via text message. I talk to my cousins via Facebook Messenger, and we like video chat and things like that. So there's a lot of things that you can do when you do live alone, to make yourself feel like, you know, you're still kind of in the mix, like your family is still there. But I won't even lie to you guys, it's hard. It's hard, like not seeing my mom every day. Even though we talk on the phone every day, it's just hard, like not being in her presence every day and not being able to spend time with them. And you know, you miss parties, you miss the barbecue that everybody's going to. So it's small things like that that I really, really miss about being home. So that's probably like the first con, is just being away from family. The second thing I'd probably say is that it does get lonely at times. Like, you know, if you're having a bad day, you know, you can always talk to somebody on the phone, but it's not the same as having somebody sit next to you and talk to you and things like that. So it gets super lonely. You know, you feel like you go through everything by yourself. And, you know, just getting an apartment by myself, that was something I had to do by myself. Like when I bought my car, I had nobody with me. When I bought my brand new car, I'm in the dealership by myself. Like a lot of things is like by myself. And I've been thinking about, you know, if I want to stay in Texas, if I don't, because my lease ends in January. And if I do stay in Texas, I definitely would want to buy a house or purchase something like that. Looking to buy a house or buy a condo. And that didn't work out at the time, which is perfect because I'm honestly undecisive. I'm like, do I want to stay in Texas? Do I want to leave Texas? Like, I don't know. So I've kind of been thinking about going to Louisiana. I feel like for me, if I go to Louisiana, I won't live in Lafayette. I'll probably live in like Baton Rouge or New Orleans or Metairie, something like that, because I feel like in the healthcare field, I feel like those are the places that has the best jobs for people like me that are in healthcare. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I want to do. It's honestly very frustrating and it's confusing, but that's the second thing I would say about living alone. You know, it does get lonely. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. And then also now I'm like not in a relationship anymore. So that's kind of like changed. So it's a lot of things, you know, and I don't like dogs, so I'm not about to get a dog. But yeah, so that's the second pro that I want to make too, is like loneliness. And you know, the third thing is like you basically have to do everything by yourself. Like there's never anybody like with you to do it with. And I feel like, you know, it's a learning lesson. I feel like we all have to kind of go through these stages in life to find out, you know, exactly who we are and exactly where we want to go. And this is not the end. I'm not saying like I'm gonna be stuck by myself forever. No, like I definitely hope to, you know, get some new friends, new connections, especially like influencer connections. I want to get more of those. And eventually I do want to be back in a relationship. I want to be engaged. I want to be married. Like I want to have kids in the future, things like that. But at this point in my life, I am at a stage to where I'm living by myself in Texas. And it can definitely get hard. So I just wanted to kind of be open with that. But I definitely encourage you all, if you need a sign, here's your sign. Take that leap of faith. I definitely do recommend it. But just like with anything, everything has a pro and everything has a con. But that's pretty much my story of kind of how I moved from Dallas to Texas. Like I said, I did have my cousin here, so that kind of helped me transition over to Texas because I knew someone here already. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. I just wanted to get out the first video for Behind the Journey so you guys can kind of know a little bit about my journey and how I got to where I am now. But again, my name is Taylor Bob. Hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I will be having part 2 coming up shortly.